what's happening, everybody? Welcome in to a brand new episode of Snaps, your favorite daily college football podcast. I am one of your hosts, T-Bob Hebert, joined as always by Aaron Murray, fresh off of his 3-day golf tour, which was actually not for the kids or for charity. It was just a bunch of country club bros ignoring their families for 3 days. Aaron, what's up, dude? What's going on, man?
Yeah, completely. I even left my phone at home until my wife don't call because my phone's here. I'm just gonna go play golf for 3 days. No, I was.
Yes.
As you know, you do a lot of work on the front end and the back end of these tournaments.
True.
But I do have a charity tournament in 2 weeks. So if you're in the state of Georgia and you want to give to a great cause, extra special people, the absolute best based out of Athens. So we do an annual golf tournament. It'll be the 26th at the Georgia Club. So if you want to donate, go ahead, ESP.com. There you go.
Yeah,
that's for the kids. That's for the kids. That's for the kids, T-Bob. This was purely for me to get frustrated at how shitty of a putter I am.
Yeah, it sounds like you sucked to really let the whole family down. On top of ignoring them, you didn't even bring home the bacon. Classic. How about this? You know who did bring it home? My Tigers, baby. There's a reason I got the purple on today, and it's because the LSU Tigers, after 7 years of wandering the desert air, they're going back to the land of milk and honey, Omaha, Nebraska, where dreams go to be made. Corn Hub fun fact of the day, the last time, and this comes from Emil McClellan, so huge thanks to Emil, the last time LSU went to Omaha, Bob Diaco was preparing to be defensive coordinator for the Nebraska Cornhuskers under head coach Mike Riley. So it's been a hot minute since the Tigers have been where was
getting ready to get
as
bent over by Wake Forest. Getting ready to get bent over by Wake Forest.
Demon Deacon, dude. What the fuck? Wake Forest has like 8,000 people at their school. Like, what are we talking about? Which, side note, between Dave Clawson and Wake Forest football being so solid, and now baseball looking like they're probably going to win the Natty, and basketball, I think, did basketball make the tournament? Either way, to have 8,000 people and have the amount of athletic success Wake Forest has, I mean, huge hat tip because they look awesome. They beat the shit out of Alabama in the Super Regional over the weekend. But you know who else went undefeated in the Super Regional? The Tigers with Dylan Cruz and Paul. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. I know a lot of y'all don't care about college baseball. We love it around these parts, though. Corn Hub, fun fact today. Give it to you off the bat today. As always, y'all, look, we got merch here that you can buy. Links in the description of the video. Please, please, please. You probably know this if you're listening live because you're here. But this is the official Snaps YouTube channel that we really fought for. Okay, youtube.com/@volumesnaps. If you are listening in podcast form, you can go check it out, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We got a ton of videos up already, daily content, shorts, everything. The point is we got some really good movement. I want to hit 1,000 by the end of the day. We're about 700. So I want to hit 1,000. I don't care about that end of the week shit. I want to hit 1,000 by the end of the day. That's what I want to push for today. So let's just hammer it, boys. And a huge thank you if you enjoy the show for just hanging out with us every day because we absolutely love it. Aaron, we're going to talk some Prime today. Speaking of, it looks like Joel Klatt has just recently launched his own YouTube show, and they're at about 700-something subscribers, and they got Deion Sanders for an extended sit-down. That's right. Hell of a job out the gate, Joel, getting Coach Prime. But as you know, we hate Joel Klatt on this show. We're at war with Joe Klatt. A little tongue-in-cheek, but yeah, very tongue-in-cheek. Joel's great. He's a beautiful man, too. In fact, who's better looking, Aaron Murray or Joel Klatt? Put it on the poll.
I think it depends if you like blondes or a nice studly brunette.
I need a little more like Joel Klatt looks just like too manicured, you know? I need a little grit and a gravel. You have a bit of a Joel Klatt looks like he would have you home before 11. You know, your parents are going to approve of him. Uber responsible, quarter zips on Sunday, going to the early service for church. I look at you, I see a little devilish glint. There's a little wild magic hiding behind your eyes where you're probably going to treat me wrong. And if you came home with my daughter, I'd be very upset. I would immediately be on kind of my suspicious back heel if you were to walk inside my doors. So that's more my style, though. So I'm with you. over Joel Klatt, Aaron Murray. I'll take the smoky brunette.
Wait, I think it's just the Fox guys. I think between Joel Klatt and what's their number 2 guy, another big blonde former quarterback. I think he used to play for Washington, I believe.
Brock Heward.
Brock Heward. Like super grandpa. Like he's the one that like sits the grandkids on the lap, reads them the story at night. You know, you bring them home, the mom and dad. They just got some good, wholesome boys over there at Fox.
Fucking nerds.
Besides Irvin.
Yeah. And then they got Irvin, just the ultimate grease pot. Hell yeah, dude. What's happening, everybody in the chat? Hope you're all having a great day. Blake Walsh says T-Bob knows too much about Aaron. He's scared about him coming over for his daughter. I don't have to watch about Aaron. Now, Maddox, on the other hand, we'll see where it ends up going over the next few years. Greg Hendricks, one of the baseball players for LSU, looks like he's T-Bob's offspring. We got a couple hefty boys on there, not to brag. All right, let's dive into the show, though, Aaron. Deion Sanders did sit down with Joel, and Joel did a fantastic job. It's a great video. In fact, it's about 33 minutes long. I think it's well worth a listen. I am of the opinion that if you watch this entire thing and you don't believe that Coach Prime is going to be a success, I actually think you're being intellectually dishonest. Like, now I'm not saying he's guaranteed to be a success because anything could go awry. What I am saying is I think it is really tough to watch this and not come away a bit of a believer.
Yeah. No, he knows how to talk the game, man. He talks the talk, he walks the walk. That's Deion. That's always been Deion. Like, you sit him in a room, and why I have confidence in him, and obviously Joel Klatt, being a former Buffalo guy himself, or Colorado Buffalo guy himself, has a lot of faith in him because he knows players. He knows Deion is going to tell you what you want to hear, and he's going to do it in a way that resonates with the kid, the mom, the dad, grandma, grandpa, brother, sister, aunt, uncle, all that. Like he's just one of those infectious people that you want to be the CEO of your company. And that's what the head coaching role is. You and I discussed this a couple months ago on one of the shows. What is the perfect head coach nowadays? Is it an offensive mind? Is it a defensive mind? Is it the CEO role? And we're still seeing a lot of success for both of those, but I think it's going to be harder and harder, both mean like the more offense or defensive mind. I think it's going to be harder and harder to go down that route. Give me in 2023 and beyond, in this crazy new era of college football, when the responsibilities are through the roof for a head coach, give me the guy that is the best CEO. Give me the guy that can walk into a room with a bunch of donors or recruits or moms and dads and can sell the shit out of my program. Yeah. And Deion is selling the shit out of a 1-11 football team. This was the worst team in college football. Their average loss was 29 points per game last year?
Yes,
the second worst was Northwestern at 14. This was the worst football team in America. And he's getting 4- and 5-star recruits there. I mean, he is the ultimate CEO, T-Bob, the ultimate CEO. So I'm sipping the Kool-Aid, man. I'm a believer, and I'm excited to see what he could do in year one.
So to add, for some added context on how bad this team was last year, Bill Connolly actually just today, nice little synergy here, dropped a piece on ESPN about, let's really look at Colorado in this roster turnover. And not only did Colorado go 1-11 last year, they ranked 124th in the S&P Plus. In the past 15 years, there has never been a worse Power 5 team than last year's Colorado Buffaloes when it comes to the S&P Plus. So again, they weren't just bad. They weren't just awful. They were dreadful. They were historically putrid. And so Deion, I agree with him. He's a little incredulous that wait, hold on. So y'all are getting upset with me for changing that? I mean, here he is talking about what does a president do when he takes office?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So a couple things to point out there that I think are pretty interesting. First off, again, where I get into intellectual dishonesty is as he says, what is he doing that any other leader in any business, if that business were to have produced similar results to what Colorado did last year, what is he doing that you wouldn't want anybody to do in any other spot? Like the
Yep.
only reason why it upsets you a little bit is because these are young men that you believed were promised something that maybe evaporated in front of their eyes. And is it sad
Yep.
there? Yes. But guess what? It's just life. Nothing is guaranteed. We want football to be a
Mhm.
meritocracy, right? We want what you get to be earned, right? Okay, well, that's exactly what Deion is saying here. And as you get into the interview, he talks about one of the guys who are tough, smart, fast, disciplined with character. These 5 traits that he
Yep.
continues to repeat. This is a guy who has the vision, who has the belief in self, the confidence, and seems, Aaron, I don't know how you feel about this, but seems incredibly present. You hear him speaking about
Yes.
now. Nothing stuck with me from the Last Dance documentary about Michael Jordan more than when people talk about Michael Jordan being present, right? That was his superpower. Why? Because when you're living in the moment, you're not worried about what happens if I fail. You're not thinking about what happens if I succeed. All you're thinking about is what do I need to do? Is it what move do I need to do? What action do I need to take to get to where I want to be right now in the moment? Successful people, I'm not good at that. I get anxious, think about the future. I worry about stuff.
Yep.
Successful people have this ability to act now. And it comes with, as we're going to see from Deion later, it comes with an incredible amount of confidence that you cannot fake if you're worried about what other people think or if you're worried about the future.
Well, you kind of do have to win now. I mean, that is the problem a little bit. I mean, there is a
True.
sense of pressure on these coaches. Like the window of time to turn a program from bad to good or from good to great is short. Like you used to get 3, 4, maybe 5 years to do it. Now all of a sudden that's, I would say, shrunken by maybe a year or two, where hey, you now have the resources. You have the resources in the sense of you can turn over a team the way Deion has done through the transfer portal. You can bring in top tier talent and go out there and have success. And the problem is Colorado's not USC. He's not what the Trojans did last year. It's not LSU who brought in Jaden and some other pieces, and all of a sudden they're winning the SEC West, competing against Georgia to win an SEC championship. Like those programs already had talent on the roster. It was just now adding in some pieces to take them from a good average team to conference championship, that caliber of a football team. Colorado isn't there. But what does Colorado have? They have Deion, who is a walking billboard of excitement that is going to be on everyone's show, on everyone's radar. I mean, for goodness sakes, Joel said in the interview, I mean, Fox's big time game that they pump the crap out of every week is the noon kickoff. And he said, the only reason we picked you in that first game versus TCU is because of you. It's not because of Colorado. It's not because of your son. It's not because of the 5-star DB. It's because of you. When's the last time a network picked a team to be their primetime spot because of the head coach?
True.
Never. It was because of the brand or a Heisman Trophy winner.
Actually, a great
That's
point.
it.
Never.
A
Like
great
never.
team.
Like
This
it
is
really
the first
is never.
time ever a network, a major network, has picked a primetime spot because of the coach. He is under immense pressure from the nation, from the fans, from recruits looking at him, and he knows I got to win now. Expectation, the bar has been risen, man. Fair or not fair, he knows what he brings to the table, and he wants to win.
And look, and he wants that stage. Okay, he's not scared of the TCU game. He's talking about wanting to live on the it's something that you see. It's in any sport. I guess I just have baseball in the mind because LSU has this freshman cat right now, right, who has kind of become their closer here at the end of the game, and he's in some high leverage, very tense spots where a normal person should be panicking, but he thrives on it. Like he wants it to be sketchier, to be more dangerous, to have more pressure, to more on the line. And some of those guys just love it. And honestly, I mean, I remember always thinking this, like for a lot of athletes, that's why I went to LSU. That's why people are going to follow Prime to Colorado because they don't want to hide that light under a bushel. They're fucking entertainers. They're performers.
Yeah.
You don't work all year round putting all this, blood, sweat, and tears into getting physically ready. Like football's not fun. It's not fun to practice. Working out sucks. Running 110s in 100-degree weather in the summer freaking sucks. Pushing yourself mentally and physically to the point where you want to quit and you want to cry and you're just in constant pain sucks. But you know what's worth it? For the 11 to 12 days that you get to go out there and shine with 100,000 people going insane and millions more watching at home. Those millions did not exist pre-prime. Like you just point out, they now do. And it is purely the prime effect. And so it's, again, you watch a student, like you know me, I have that bet 4.5 on Colorado, the over. I think it's an absolute lock after watching this. Like, I don't think they're going to upset TCU, because I think also TCU did a really good job of capitalizing, but he's confident, dude. He's talking shit.
Well, he's also confident in his son too. I mean, how many times did he say during the interview, he talked about I think at one point he said, what did the top teams in the country have last year? And he asked Joel this question. Joel said, quarterback play. He said, we got that. You got that. And we've improved the line of scrimmage, which is the two things you need. You know,
I was a bit surprised to hear how hard he went on his line, though. He thinks that line's going to be good, which I find a little harder to believe. Yeah,
I'm a little bit harder to believe in that one too. I do think his son Shadir has talent. You know, we'll see how that translates from where they were last year to, you know, playing, I would say, a pretty tough conference this year in the Pac-12 that you're not going to get away with scoring 30 points per game. Let's be honest. Like, this Pac-12 this year is flooded with talented quarterbacks and talented offenses. Like, if you want to be a team in which Deion is pumping right now that is contending to be a bowl team, I mean, I'm going to be realistic here, because Deion thinks that this team will, you know, he's preaching in there, F everyone, let's go win the Pac-12 this year. Well, if that's your goal, Deion, you better score 40 points a game. I mean, so you better have the offensive line. You better have the quarterback. You know, Travis better be playing receiver and DB, and better be in hell of condition playing in Colorado to be able to go both ways and dominate. Like, that's a big jump against, you know, you and I've alluded to, probably the third best conference in the country heading into this season, because of the offenses that they're going to be facing and the quarterbacks they're going to be facing. I mean,
Big 12,
ACC ain't. Big 12.
No. I'm just thinking between Big 12 and Pac-12.
No, it's Pac-12.
Yeah, I guess because the quarterbacks. You're right. Like Deion said, quarterbacks what matters most. That's what's going to push them over the top. I found it very interesting that he says he knows they will be ready to compete with TCU. Doesn't think, he says he knows they will be ready. And what you're.
But what makes you think TCU is ready to be anything like they were last year? I mean, who would have thought TCU would have made to a natty? Do you think that they're not? We did the whole ranking the other day, 50% or more. It's not like they have over 50% of 4- and 5-star guys on their roster.
No, but TCU did a good job of capitalizing this offseason. They brought in a lot of talent. I don't know what they're going to be.
They're below the threshold of elite team, supposedly elite team.
Yeah. But we're not talking about that, though, right? We're not talking about, like, because Colorado's not even in that same vein. TCU should still be miles ahead of Colorado. That's all I'm saying. And I think that they did a great job in this offseason of capitalizing off all the advertising they got last year. I don't expect TCU to make the playoff again, but I expect TCU to be much better than Colorado. But if Colorado puts them a fight,
TCU is 22-point favorites.
Okay, I was going to say, if Colorado puts them a fight and can make that game competitive, then that's actually, he wouldn't say it, but I'll say it, that's a win for Coach Prime. In terms of expectation, though, because look, people, you know, I bet the over on that 4.5. Then we mathed it out. We're like, oh, actually, that doesn't feel good. Well, for Prime, that ain't nearly enough. Here's what happened when Joel Klatt tried to get him to be a little more realistic on his level of expectation.
I know that a +4 or 5 in the win column is a drastic improvement.
Not for me. I don't think like that, man. I want it all. I don't want to sip. Maybe I want it all.
Wait, did that cut off, or did we have more after that?
I am bringing it back because we got flagged because Fox is super protective of their online.
Okay.
We got
it. Over here.
We don't have to play it. We don't have to play it, Brum, if we're gonna get flagged, because that is it summed up. You know, he goes on to expound and make it a little more eloquent and fun, but like, he's like, nah, F that, dude. I don't care. Like, I know I want it now. Everything is now. I'm not worried about setting expectations for, oh, well, you know, we're coming from bad plays. We're going to lose some games. No. I want my players to believe, whether or not it's actually true, I want my players to believe that they can do it now. And it's kind of, if you can get your guys, he's kind of trying to do the inverse of Kirby Smart, right? Yep. Where Kirby Smart had to get these Georgia players to believe negative things in the face of a mountain of evidence that said otherwise, right? Where everybody's actually praising Georgia constantly, and he had to do this mind hypnosis where he convinced him that everybody was crapping on the guy. Deion's having to do the opposite. Everybody's crapping on them, and he has to hypnotize them to think that, no, you are capable, no matter what, of doing so much. Like, do not put limits on yourself. And I don't think that translates to 9 or 10 wins, but I think that's an excellent way to approach things. What's the old poster that I'll never forget this poster in my 7th grade science class? Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you land among the stars. Okay. That's this Colorado team.
Cute.
Why not
That's
shoot for the moon?
Bob.
Just a great motivational poster.
What team, realistically, is there a team right now in America that is in their locker room, sitting around amongst themselves saying, man, I want to be good enough to go to a bowl game this year? Like, what team is not at the moment sitting down, looking at each other, saying, you're your boys. You've seen the improvement in the weight room. You've seen the improvement in 7-on-7. You saw the improvement during spring ball. Looking around the room and saying, you know what? We're going to win our conference. You know what? We're going to make the playoffs. Every team is saying that. Every team is. Like, I've been a part of teams that went, probably in Vanderbilt. We're going to shock everyone. We're going to win all games. Like,
Clark
you
Lee.
understand, like, call us idiots. But we're big, dumb fucking jocks. That's what we are. We're big, dumb jocks who are overconfident with ourselves that think if you give us the opportunity, we're going to win the game. What team walks into a stadium knowing that they're going to get smoked? No, they say, we're going to shock the world. We're going to win this game and our fans are going to rush the field. Like, that's the mentality heading into the season. I'll give this example. Heading into, this must have been 2012. We set goals as a team. We set goals. And I think like our final goal was like, make it to Atlanta. Like, that was in our head. Like, we got to make it to Atlanta. We got to make it to Atlanta. We got to make it to Atlanta. It wasn't win a natty. It was make it to Atlanta. We made it to Atlanta and we lost, but we reached our goal.
Yeah.
We made it to Atlanta. Like,
so
why limit yourself?
Yeah.
Why limit yourself? Same thing that you just said. Shoot for the moon, land in the stars. If the moon is fucking national championship, shoot for that and try to get somewhere in the stars up there. I ain't aiming for 4 wins. There's no one in Colorado's locker room right now that is saying we're going to be happy with 4 wins. And they got good players, man. They got dudes that have won championships, high school championships, 4-star guys, 5-star guys. They had the best player in America commit from 2 years ago. Like, they got dudes that know how to win football games. Deion ain't in that room saying we're going to go 4-8. So
I love how D. Lee 36 says it. He says you got to be dumb to go to football practice rather than enjoy life. So of course everyone thinks they're winning the conference. Hell yeah. But then again, the only thing I'll say is I think sometimes people talk about believing these things. It's rare if you can actually get people to believe shit that they shouldn't. That's where I use the Kirby Smart example, because he actually had Georgia bought in the idea and they were somehow some sort of underdog champions, right? Can Prime actually get the Buffs to buy in to the opposite? Last thing I will say here. Oh man, I had something. It'll come back to me. Well, I'll just go on my notes here. I did love when he was talking about the South. Did you hear that? With Joel Klatt, he basically got Joel Klatt to admit that all the best football players were in the South. I was shocked about this.
Had to pain Joel. Sanders, had to pain Joel so much.
Oh, it pained him so much too. But he had to agree. I mean, if Coach Prime's telling you to agree, you have to agree in an interview, right? Like you're not going to push back at that point.
No.
And he's right, and he's right. But I didn't know this, man. Prime saying he's only punched that passport twice in his life. That he's not really a traveler, which is wild considering just how much success he's had on this earth. But it's interesting. And what he's saying is like, I only really knew the South. That's where I'm a Florida boy. I come here. Everybody thinks I got to sell Colorado. I come here. I'm blown away. My eyes are open to the natural wonder and beauty and all these things I've never seen before. And so now it's a very effective thing that he's experienced, because he can now turn around and sell that to the very kids that he's going after from Florida, from Georgia, from Louisiana, that look, man, you want to, while you're on this earth, you want to get the full breadth of what this life and this country has to offer. Come visit here. Come look at these mountains and tell me you aren't going to leave a changed man. So it was pretty fascinating to me how he almost went to the same thing culturally in his personal life that he's going to be asking these kids to now do. And he seems to have fallen in love with it.
It's a beautiful place. It doesn't need a lot of Angies, unfortunately, I don't think.
Yeah, well, okay. I see what you're doing there. I would have gone with something like, when Prime
I'm just trying to give you a hint before you get in trouble.
When Prime took over for Alabama, that's his house now, but it's a house that had a lot of problems. Unfortunately, there is no Angie for football. But if you are a homeowner and you need anything done, check out our friends at Angie. Hello there, fellow homeowner. I've got some very exciting news for you, okay? Angie's List is now just Angie, but it's still your home for everything home. Look, I've been in my house for about 5 years now, and I absolutely love it. I don't want to go anywhere, but it's an older house stuff. So I had to get like the siding redone. I had to get the stucco redone. And although I may look like the epitome of a handy man, it may shock you, dear viewer, but I am indeed not handy. In fact, I don't know what the heck's going on with any of this stuff. So you know what I do? I get out my Angie app, and in just a few simple tippity taps, I have access to over 220,000 professionals from which to choose. What I love is, look, I live in Baton Rouge, right? And so it's all locally based. And I can actually look at the reviews of what other people in my area, who they've used. And so what I do, I got on my Angie app, I got my jobs lined up. I don't lift a finger, and the siding looks incredible, y'all. I basically live in my backyard now, and that's thanks to Angie. So what are you waiting for? Download the Angie app today, ANGI, or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com. Angie, your home for everything home. Aaron, great teamwork there. Okay, this is something else I want to touch on, then we'll be done with Deion for today. In terms of the roster turnover, it's just objective fact. The roster's miles better. Before Deion showed up, there were 2 blue chip recruits on Colorado's roster last year, 4 or 5 stars. Right now, there are 15 to 16, depending on the service, 4 and 5 star recruits now on the roster. So a literal increasing it by a magnitude of 8 at that point, including 5 blue chips in the secondary alone. You mentioned the Pac-12 quarterback play, how exciting the offense is going to be this year. Well, if nothing else, your receiving core is going to have to work against this Colorado secondary.
Yeah, they're going to have to work. I'm not going to lie. Like, if it wasn't for Deion, even if the roster was the same, say the roster's the same, somehow the brand new coach was able to amass the same exact players, I don't think that I would put money on them going 4.5. I don't. I think we talk about the prime effect. I think that to me gets them to win 1 or 2 more games than they're supposed to. So I'm with you, T-Bob. I'll put some. If you ever would place my damn bets, I would tell you to go put some money on Colorado right now for the 4.5. I would.
I can't do that.
That's illegal. I think him alone gets another possibly 2 wins in a close situation. He pushes them through. So I'll send it to you afterwards. You won't bet it, but I'll send it to you anyway, so I can in 2 months bitch at you for not putting my bets in again.
We will relax. Okay, relax. Carson Beck's not going to win the fucking Heisman anyway. I'm saving you $300. You're welcome. That's the bet Aaron is complaining about. That I'm not putting $300 on Carson Beck to win the Heisman. Get the hell out of here, dude. It's not happening.
I mean, does not make the most sense besides voting.
It is a good value play.
It's a hell of a
It's a great value play. I agree. Blake Walter's taking to start 2-1. The hype is going to be loud and then end 3-9. I don't know. Isn't I was going to say that the schedule's pretty tough, dude. Frothy Tavern says Colorado's going to suck ass. T-Bob is right. I think me and Aaron are saying the same thing, but I like this comment anyway. He says Colorado's going to suck ass. T-Bob is right. Quit thinking emotionally, Aaron. Yeah, Aaron, grow up, dude. Okay. I know we just
they're going to beat Nebraska. They're going to beat Colorado State.
No,
they're going to beat.
You're not
going to
beat Nebraska.
They're going to beat Stanford. So that's 4. Then they're going to beat Arizona, and then they're going to win versus Washington State, 6-6.
Go Beavs, Clint Moses. We'll see. If is Oregon State on that schedule?
Yes.
Oh, watch
Like,
out, Clint. Coach Prime's coming.
they got him at home too. They got him there playing at
Uh,
altitude. I've been
Bilbo
there before.
says,
Playing altitude sucks. Have you ever played altitude? High altitude?
no, I can't
Oh, it's
fathom, dude.
miserable.
That it seems awful.
I remember we played at Colorado freshman year. We landed Friday, and I always pride myself on like knowing all the answers, kiss ass, whatever you want to call me. But Bobo would ask questions on Friday night during offensive meeting, and I'm just bam, I'm answer.
Fucking Hermione Murray over here.
Yeah, fucking right. And he was asking me questions, and I was blanking. I had no idea. And I felt like dog crap. Like my head was spinning, like major migraine. And I remember like after me, he's like, "Are you ready for this fucking game, Murray?" I'm like, "I think so," but like I feel awful, like dehydrated, felt like shit. Luckily, it was a night game. I didn't feel good till about an hour before kickoff.
What'd they do? What'd they give you to get you all oxygenated up?
IVs, lots of fluids, the whole nine. Yeah. And
Damn.
Tylenol.
I will say this: I love a good geographic advantage because you know me, I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, I play a lot of mini war games, right? And it always reminds me of like, okay, so if you're because it gives the people who live there and train there, an earned advantage over their opponent, right? Like their bodies have had to adapt to that thin air. They've had to learn how to maximize oxygen intake, how to suffer whatever like whatever comes along with it. And so it's like when you're playing like an RPG or something, and these people are from the mountains, so when they're in the snow, they get like +5 to all their saving rolls and stuff. It's like when people from the North have to come down to like Baton Rouge in September, and they're clearly just dying the second they step outside. They're like, where the hell are we? Whereas if you are one of the players that's at home, you feel like, yeah, you know what? It sucked, but now I'm stronger for it. I've been forged in the heat. I've been forged in the mountaintops.
I was with a couple guys from Buffalo this weekend. One guy still lives there. And they were talking about the new stadium, and he was kind of bitching a little bit that it wasn't going to be a dome stadium. I was like, that's y'all's advantage. Like,
yeah, I thought that was the
when
thing.
People have to go to Buffalo and it's freezing cold, it's kind of like the fans, I think, take pride in it. And I would say the players do too. Like, hey, welcome to the Tundra, boys. But especially when you got a quarterback that's 6'5" with massive hands. I mean, T-Bob doesn't know about that. He doesn't have a problem gripping the football. You put T-Bob in Buffalo, good luck getting a shotgun snap. That ball's going to come right out of his damn hands.
Aaron, your hands are 1/8 of an inch larger than mine. An 1/8 of an inch. No. You claimed 9 1/4 at the end of last podcast, and the chat quickly determined that was a lie. Pro day does not count over combine. Pro day does not count over combine. Pro day is fake. Yep. Pro day is fake compared to combine. You know this, dude. You know this. Frothy Tavern says T-Bob quenches his thirst with a flagon of ale before rolling his 20-sided die. You're fucking right, I do, dude. Ooh, I just started a good new fantasy book called First Binding, and I don't want to get people's hopes up, okay? But I'm at 100 pages in. We may be talking about something that could rival King Killer Chronicles, Lies of Locke Lamore. We'll see. I'll come back. I want to go too hard too fast here. Real quick, Aaron, I know you missed it. We're about to get out of here, but the Big Ten got it right where the SEC got it wrong. If you didn't see it, their scheduling is awesome. Makes all the sense in the world. And instead of being married to some preconceived notion of, well, everybody needs to have the same amount of permanent opponents, and they want to, no, the Big Ten was like, no, look, you can have anywhere 1 to 3 permanent opponents. You can have 0 permanent opponents. We're just going to make sure that you play 9 conference games and let the chips fall where they may. It's actually I'm a hat tip to the Big Ten doing a very superior job than that of what the SEC did.
Bilbo made a great point in the chat. Can we just please change the name? Like, are we going to rebrand the Big Ten now that there's no longer 10 teams in there? Can we just?
What are they, just the big? I don't want to change the name. I like the Big Ten, dude. I don't want to because I don't want to change the name, dude. I like the Big Ten.
No,
I think it sounds good. Okay.
No. Again, it sounds good because you're used to it, but
The only name
There's
I
going to be
will change it
16
to.
teams in there, and possibly more.
Exactly. So it's 16
It's called the
teams. I'm
Big.
down. No, the Big Teen. I'm down to call it the Big Teen, but
Yeah,
I doubt
got
that's
it.
going to work.
They did it right. SEC. You know what the Big Ten did? They said, you know what? We're going to give the people what they want. And you know what they
Yep.
want? They want all these great games.
Night
and
games.
That's what we're going to put at the front of it. But I still don't think the SEC gives a damn. I mean, the SEC just whatever. We don't care. Like, bitch
No,
and
but
moan,
that
do what
misses
you
the
want.
fucking point. No. You
I
can go
know,
carry
I know.
water for Greg Sankey somewhere else, dude. Because
I'm not carrying water. I'm saying the
Sankey
SEC doesn't
yeah.
care.
Hey,
I'm not saying it's
guys,
a good thing.
connect the dots. Who does Aaron work for? ESPN. Who's in bed with the SEC? ESPN. Okay, guys. So I have to lay this out for you. I've got all the documents right here.
Did I agree with anything? Did I agree with? I don't agree with it. I'm saying the SEC is saying, why do we care? We're winning championships. Why do we need to mess with it?
And I am saying that is a
if you're a Big Ten
flawed
fan,
perspective.
if you're a Big Ten fan, this is the argument. If you're a Big Ten fan, would you rather Ohio State or Michigan win a national championship or more exciting football games during the football season?
Wait, why are those mutually exclusive?
Because that's the SEC right now. There are 8 games. Not going to keep all the traditional rivalries in 2024, but they're probably going to win a national championship. What would you trade if you're a fan?
No, that's a flawed
What would you trade for a fan? What would you trade? Just answer the question.
No, because the SEC would still be the favorite to win the Natty at 9 games. That would not change. It does not matter.
I know.
It does not matter. So that's
answer
my
my
point.
question.
So I don't have.
What
No,
would you
I don't have
pick?
to. I would rather week to week better games easily. I don't give a fuck who wins the national championship. Some team that I hate's probably going to win the national championship. I think the dumbest thing in the world is claiming SEC pride when it's the Georgia Bulldogs on a three-peat. Like what? What kind of sense does that make? That doesn't make any damn sense.
Beautiful thing.
Is the whole conference winning it? No, Georgia's winning. Get the hell out of here with that crap. So no, I would take better week to week. Easily. And again, that whole idea of what do we have to change? We're already the top dogs. That is flawed. And you have such a lead that it's probably not going to change anything in the short term, but long term, that's how empires fall. Okay. Wooden clogs on the way up, silk slippers on the way down. That's a silk slipper ass comment if I have ever heard one. By the way, Aaron, I know your feet are looking a little comfy over there. You look like you might have some silk slippers on as well, because that's exactly what's going to happen to your Georgia Bulldogs this year. Okay. You done got soft. You're not playing shit. You're not going to be tested in the playoffs, and you ain't going to be ready. Okay. No Monken, no Stetson, driving fast, culture crumbling. Nobody's listening to Kirby. Has he lost the wheel? Bulldog fans, there's only one person in college football media that's going to tell you like it is. That's how it is. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm really sorry. But it's going to be a great run until the playoff. Okay. It really will be.
Mm-hmm.
Clint Mo says Cupcake Week 8. Bro, Tennessee doesn't matter. They're not a national championship threat. I like Tennessee as well, but they're good. In a 12-team playoff, potentially they'd be a bit more frisky. They're not frisky.
Give me to Atlanta. Just give me to Atlanta, rested and ready to go. At least for LSU's sake, if we want to compare alma maters here, you got a fucking hell of a route to at least get there. Like, you may not even make it. So at least I give myself a chance. Yeah.
What I say, forged in the fucking flames. Hey, nothing in life that is ever worth it is easy.
Go Demon Deacons, baby.
It's the paradox of adversity to human enjoyment. When shit is easy, you never look back on it fondly. You don't gain long-term satisfaction from it. It doesn't mean anything to you. The only way that 10 years down the road you're still telling the story is if it was fucking hard, okay? And guess what? Down here, we're a bunch of hard men. I'm fucking rock hard, okay? And that ain't letting up all the way through football season, Aaron. So you and your little limp, freaking inbred bulldogs with your Habsburg jaws and your slobbery nose canals, you go take it somewhere else, okay? Because I'm done with y'all. I'm done with y'all until you three-peat. Dynasty, get out. You can't be a dynasty if you don't even three-peat. Get the hell out of here, dude.
Oof. Do I need to sing the song again? Do I need to sing the song for you?
What? The mean
Who's
machine.
that coming? Hey, big news though, boys and girls. Speaking of
What's up?
SEC, just got an email from my boss at SiriusXM. Please reserve your rooms for Nashville for SEC Media Days.
Yes,
Right,
my dream is to do a Snaps live from one of the Bachelorette bike bars where you like ride around and drink. Yeah, I want to do Snaps live while doing that. I think that would be incredibly fun. But we'll see. Okay. Oh, we got a super chat on the way out here. Nick says Michigan and UGA need a non-conference home and home at night. Yeah, that would be incredible. I would take that. So that is the great part about the 12-team playoff, though, is we will get some of those matchups, right? Like if you don't get the bye, you could have Michigan going to Georgia or the other way around, and it's just going to be absolutely electric.
Yep.
So good.
Come on, SEC. Figure it out.
Cody Brunet, the most memorable thing Georgia can do this year is lose to South Carolina. South Carolina fans will be very happy to see that. All right, that'll be it. Go Tigers. Omaha week, boys. All week long. Get ready, Aaron. Sorry, I know you all want to know anything about that over there in Athens because you don't understand how baseball's played. America's game. Imagine that. Bunch of communist hippies over there in Athens. It's just their music and dive bars. Disgusting. I'm just kidding. You know, we love you here on Snaps. Please, y'all. Again, if you enjoy the pod, you can always just find it by Googling Snaps Podcast. Share with your friends, your family, whoever you think would like college football. YouTube.com/@volume-snaps. That is the new channel. I want to hit 1,000 by the end of the day. Nail it. Spread the word. Spread like wildfire, y'all. And we'll be back tomorrow. Huge thank you to Ryan Brumley, Paul Farrington, Pat Gunner, Danny Cardenas, Adam Gracia. Huge thank you to you, Aaron Murray. And always a huge thank you to everybody who listens, hangs out live. We love you so much. And we'll be back tomorrow. And thank you to Angie with a brand new episode of Snaps.